I'm here to join Book Talk. Since I usually talk about food, I'm going to go through my favorite books of 2022, the ones that I read this year, and the foods that I would like to be eating while I read them. I just finished this last night. It actually reminded me of Pillars of the Earth. It wasn't too sci-fi, even though there were dragons and magic and all of that stuff. It was really world building, and it spanned a long amount of time, and I was totally engaged. But while I was reading it, all I was a perfect, juicy summer peach. Even though it's about oranges, when they talked about the glowing fruit that was so perfect, all I could actually think of was a peach. In a desperate attempt to feel the way I felt when I was reading Circe and to recreate that, I picked up 1,000 Chips. And much to my surprise, it was not a knockoff. So if you like feminist retelling of Greek mythology, absolutely pick up 1,000 Chips and make sure you get some super crispy Greek-inspired potatoes. Bonus points if you get a feta dip in there too. The Treatise was truly unlike any book I've ever read. It was sort of murder revenge for lynchings and white supremacy and KKK crimes of the past. The whole book kind of reminded me of Inglourious Basterds when they kill Hitler. And because of that, you need something really munchy, like a homemade Chex Mix. Also, it's bloody, so you don't want to eat too much. The Firekeeper's Daughter was beautiful. It's a YA book, but it's a page turner. Really, really fun. I would recommend this for anyone from 12 to 82. Highly recommend checking this out. I love how the author really taught me about her Ojibwe culture and the language. So while I'm reading it, the only thing I could think is that I desperately want to go to Sean Sherman's restaurant, which I think is in Minneapolis or something. It's the first decolonized restaurant that cooks truly indigenous ingredients. So meet me there and let's have a book club. Jeanette, you're so brave to write this book. My mom and I are estranged, though she's not dead. I immediately understood the humor in this title. Thank you for writing this book. My mom made the most amazing vanilla layer cakes, and they're still one of my favorite foods. And since this book is about overcoming an eating disorder, while I read this book, I would like to eat a whole entire layer cake. My neighbor recommended this to me, and I thought it was a little outside my range. And at the beginning, I thought it was like really bro, but it turns out to be a great buddy adventure book with a lot of heart. I really loved it. But being in space sounds like the worst thing ever, so you're going to need every single edible food item in your house to get over the claustrophobia and panic attack of being trapped in a vacuum with nothing to eat. If you read and loved Cloud Cuckoo Land, hit me up because we are besties. This book was stunning. Anthony Doerr is a genius to pull off the scope and breadth of this novel so effortlessly. It will be a top 3 book of my entire life, there's no doubt. But while you're reading, you're probably going to want to eat something you grew in your garden because the eco panic is real. Here's to great reading in 2023.